back to Jordan's Film Quest. Today's adventure I'll be taking you to the filming locations for the classic 1985 movie Mischief, one of my favorite 80s movies. Now, it was filmed mostly in Nelsonville, which is where I'm at now, and the video you're about to watch I shot 2 years ago, so the editing on it might be a little iffy, I'm not sure. So I did most of the locations in this video. There are a couple that I had missed, but I'm doing a part 2 to this video. So stay tuned later and we will check out the other locations that I missed. And without further ado, welcome to Mischief Locations Part 1. It starts out with a car driving in the middle of nowhere. Now, I came across this first location. We see a old Studebaker, which introduces us to the character Jonathan. Jonathan is the main character, okay? So he's driving along, and here is the first location that we come across. In the opening scene, we see a truck, semi-truck, come across these railroad tracks right there, and Jonathan Studebaker comes right up through here, across the tracks, and you see this shot. It says Canal Winchester, but the movie was based in Nelsonville. They lied. So this spot's pretty funny. This is the scene where, towards the beginning of the movie, where Jonathan is riding in a car with his friend, and he's talking about how much he likes Marilyn, and saying that he never had a chance. And right down there at that light is the public square. Now he makes a right turn, he comes down this road right here, and what's funny is he's not paying attention and he wrecks his car right here into this fire hydrant. It's still here. That's so awesome. Now, like I said, he makes the right turn, comes down here, realizes that he's swerving into the opposite lane, and he wrecks into this fire hydrant. And right there is Rosalie's house, because he said, now's your chance. There's Marilyn talking to Rosalie. They both come out and talk to him, and they're playing in a puddle that all the water is coming out, and his car is covered in water from fire hydrant. So after Jonathan wrecks his car with his friend into the fire hydrant, after he's making googly eyes at Marilyn, he comes home. Right there is his house. It's about a 5-minute walk from the train station that I just showed you in the beginning. So Jonathan and his friend pull up right here in his Studebaker. He walks into his house, which is right there, and he notices that there's a moving truck parked right about there. So Jonathan's room in the movie is this top back bedroom. We get to see him looking at a dirty magazine in the video, or in the movie, I'm sorry, and he hears some rumbling outside, and in the moving truck we are introduced to the character Gene. He comes out with his motorcycle and starts riding around, goes behind the trees right here. So as you can see, the movie was made in the 80s, and not much has changed since then besides the color of the house to make it look more older, I guess you could say. So Gene has a basketball hoop in the backyard of his house, and I'm going to try and find it. So this is the alleyway behind Jonathan and Gene's house, and I'm coming up to where Jonathan actually meets Gene. He's outside working in his garage on his bike, and he talk about, hey, is there any kind of girls here around town that you know of? And then Jonathan tells him that he's got the hots for a certain someone, Marilyn, and he makes a bet Gene makes a bet with Jonathan that he can't get him laid within a month. You see him out here playing basketball, and clearly a lot has changed since the 80s. It looks like it has been rebuilt. Doesn't look like it's too old. They have a basketball hoop on the side over here. It doesn't look like it's the same one from the movie, but Jonathan's house is right there, Gene's house right here, and here's the garage. So I am downtown Nelsonville at the public square. Now, multiple scenes of this movie were shot here. I'm going to show you each one of where it was shot. So towards the beginning of the movie, when Gene and Jonathan are hanging out, you see Gene walk across the street from the Majestic Galleries, and they kind of walk through here, and it shows a bunch of games and stuff, which would be along that road. And they stop. Let's see if I can find the shot. They stop right about here, which is where you see the building behind them. There's a kissing booth that has Marilyn, Bunny, and Rosalie, which was maybe right about here. So at the kissing booth, you give them, I think it's like a dime or a nickel, and they spin the wheel, and each girl has a number, and on the wheel, when they spin it, if the number lands, or if the indicator lands on the number, they get to kiss that girl. So obviously Jonathan spins his wheel and he gets to kiss Rosalie. Well, it's like a little peck. And then Gene goes to spin the wheel and he gets number 2, which is Marilyn. And number 3 is obviously Bunny, and that's the one who he wanted to kiss, which is who he doesn't kiss. And then Jonathan gets all bent out of shape because he gets to kiss Marilyn, and then that creates a whole thing. And then, if I believe right, he spins again, and then he gets to kiss Bunny. And then Kenny, from a distance, sees him kiss Bunny. Well, then that causes a whole thing, a whole feud between Kenny and Gene. It's just a complete mess. So this next spot is kind of disappointing because it no longer exists. Well, part of it does, but this is the entrance to the school that they used, where Gene is driving Jonathan on his bike, and they're coming to school, and he's trying to teach them all the tips and tricks about how to impress girls. And one way I know for sure that this is a location because of the street, and there's a water tower right in front of me. So they would have drove in on the bike. There's a road right here that goes right up to the main road, and they would have turned right there, and he would have parked probably right about here, and the entrance would have been somewhere right here. Now obviously things changed over time. That movie was back in the 80s, and it was quite a long time ago, and I'm kind of disappointed that it's not here anymore, but it's whatever. But however, when you see them get off the bike, he sees Kenny and Bunny down here, and Kenny is cleaning his car off, and we see this entrance in the background, which is the entrance that they used during the school dance scene where Bunny comes running out on the sidewalk chasing after Gene. So the entrance would have been probably right about here, maybe. I'm not sure because all of this has been redone, and there's no way to tell if there has been any kind of stairs here or nothing. So they faked the interiors of this school. Now what they want you to think is that it was filmed here in this high school, but technically it was not. It was filmed at another high school called Hamilton High School. Now, I know where that's at. No, I'm not going to take you there because it's Saturday and I cannot get into his high school, nor do I want to because I find it weird. But the interior shots of that movie was filmed at that high school, but the exterior shots were filmed here at this high school. Why they would have done that is beyond me, but maybe it was cheaper at the time, maybe it was easier, I'm not sure. But this is Water Tower. Is the location of the high school. So this is the infamous diner that everybody went and hung out at. This is where Rosalie worked, and this is, yeah, was just a cool hangout spot for the movie. Now, unfortunately, they closed at 2 o'clock and it's about 4 o'clock. I didn't know that. I didn't even know that this place was even open. I didn't know that there was a business here because the last time that I saw it, there was, I looked it up on Google and everything was all boarded up. So I didn't think this was an actual business. And it is, it's closed. I can't get in it. I'm sorry. I really wish I could. I'm kind of bummed out about it, but it's whatever. It's really cool that it was filmed right here in Nelsonville. Majority of it. There's not really much to show because the windows are all fogged up. But this is the old diner that they used in the movie. You see in the windows where Gene is over at the jukebox, and then a couple other scenes where everyone's in the window dancing. Man, I'm really bummed I can't get in there. I don't think you can see much. Yeah, you can't really see much in there. I'm really bummed out about that. Well, crap. I'm sorry. I can't get in there. I might have to make a separate video or try and come back to get in there to see what it looks like when it's open. Alright, for this location, let me explain to you a little bit about what's going on here. So, Marilyn starts taking a liking to Gene, right? Well, Jonathan doesn't like that because Marilyn invites Gene to the movies on Saturday night. Now, what happens at the drive-in movie theater, which was filmed in California, I believe, so there's no way of me getting there. So, while they're at the diner, or I'm sorry, movie drive-in, Kenny picks a fight with Gene, leading them to the next scene. Now, this next scene, I personally like because they play chicken with cars. Gene takes Jonathan's car and plays chicken against Kenny right here at this feed mill. This is where they filmed the chicken scene. Chicken car scene, you get it. So Kenny would have parked his car right there in the middle of the road. He said left tire on the line. Kenny was down there and Gene down here and Jonathan's car. Now, they start doing the chicken. They get closer and closer towards each other, and Kenny kind of veers off because he doesn't think that Gene is serious. Well, Gene is very serious, and they end up wrecking each other's cars. Well, slightly. They scrape the side of the cars, and then Gene ends up in the ditch, right about there, right around here somewhere. So after the chicken scene, everybody scatters because the cops start showing up, and then they end up getting arrested, I believe. No, they end up getting away, but Jonathan's dad isn't very happy with what happened to his car. Neither is Kenny. But this is the scene where the car chicken scene was filmed. So in another one of the scenes is where Jonathan gets to drive Gene's bike, and he kind of wrecks it into a bush right about here, and they just fall down and hang out right here along the fountain. So for this scene, it's kind of funny. This is where Gene plays a prank on Kenny, and he puts the mannequins that are displayed in this window, which is now a law office. He takes the mannequins and he puts them in very interesting positions. Well, Jonathan is riding his bike by, and he stops probably right about here on the corner. And he's looking towards the window, and you can see this home in the background and the corner of those buildings. And then Gene shows up and he's like, I really like this. This is awesome. I found the old gas station that Gene used to work at. And the scene where Jonathan rolls up on his bike and he talks to Gene, and Gene's working on a car, which is probably right about there. The payphone booth would have been right there, probably along that curb. There used to be a building there, which is clearly no longer there, which is now a Kroger, which is weird. But I thought this place, I wasn't going to be able to find it. I heard it was farther down, but no, I just took Chestnut Street and found it. I just kept going, and it's right on the corner. There's an old Duke station right there. And there was a bunch of old buildings right here, which kind of made it difficult for me to find, but it wasn't too bad because, I mean, the building's been repainted since the 80s. But yeah, no more buildings right there. There's now a bank there, which is kind of weird, but yeah, I can't believe I found the spot where Gene worked. That's pretty sweet.